What's going on YouTube? CJ Extreme here to talk about the photo that you just saw. Bray Wyatt and Aleister Black having a feud. Now, I'm not saying that this is gonna happen, but it would be really, really clever of WWE to do this if they decided to do it. So, basically, what I'm getting at here, let's just think about this for a second. With the promos that we've seen with Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse, a little really edgy kids show. So basically what he's doing, he'll give some messages, kind of convey them, or maybe blatantly state them within his each episode, and then when it ends, he's always like, let me in, right? And then with Aleister Black's promos, he's begging for someone to come through the door and challenge him to a fight. The door is open, and Bray Wyatt is like, let me in. So let's say Bray Wyatt is the one who accepts Aleister's challenge, or is the one to challenge Aleister Black. Now, this is the weird thing about this whole thing, is that one of them would have to lose. I know that's like a downside, alright? That's not a good thing if one of them loses. So I thought of some ideas for what they could do if one of them loses, because a lot of people are like, well, if one of them has to lose, it wouldn't make sense for them to feud, because if it's their first, I guess, not really Aleister's first match and not really Bray's first match, but both of them kind of returning to action. When they return to action, they can't really lose. So here's my ideas. For Bray Wyatt, let's say they have their match at SummerSlam, big event. It'll be a really cool show opener, or just a really nice match to have on the card if they wanted to do that. And I think most likely if they did face each other, it'd probably be Aleister Black winning. So what they could do with Bray, because Bray always loses these feuds, right? Not always, but he's lost plenty of feuds. He's lost a lot of feuds. He's lost a lot of matches, right? So for them to build him up and he loses, you would think this would damage his character. But I think what they could do after he loses, he goes back to the Firefly Funhouse and he's just out of it. Alright, it cuts to him and he's just sitting there, and there's no music, it's just silence. He's just sitting there upset, trying to think about what to do. And he got all his puppets surrounding him, they're all kind of watching him, and Bray's just not saying a word. And then they start talking to him, and he's like, seems like no matter what, the result is always the same. I just can't win. And then they just try to cheer him up, basically. And over the next few weeks, you see them like trying their hardest, but it never really works. And then they start showing him like old matches where like, oh, look, this is when you won the WWE Championship. Oh, look, this is the fans. You know, they really enjoy you. They like you, Bray, even though you lost or whatever. And they're like trying to build him back up, right? And then eventually, throughout each of the episodes, Bray finally feels encouraged to get back into the ring. You know, he's rejuvenated. And I guess when he finally returns, not coincidental, like, I guess Aleister has won some sort of championship. Maybe he wins the United States Championship. Maybe he wins the Intercontinental Championship. And so he's challenged by Bray Wyatt, and that's like the blow off, basically. And Bray comes back and he wins the championship from Aleister, or he gets his win back in just a regular one-on-one match, right? And in the second match, Bray is countering a lot more. He knows what Aleister is going to do before he does it. He keeps avoiding the black mask every time it comes around, because he's seen it before. That's how he lost the first time. He's learned from his mistakes, basically. So I think that could really say a lot about his character. It's just like they're addressing the idea that Bray normally loses his feuds or whatever, but he actually was able to overcome this time and learn from his mistakes. And it kind of just shows that wins and losses do matter, whatever, all that stuff. I feel like that'd be interesting, a very subliminal way of addressing all the different character changes that Bray has undergone over the years. Whether it be like bringing out Sister Abigail, whether it be him going by himself, teaming with Randy Orton, or just being with the Wyatt family, or just being husky hair. You know what I mean? Like, I think that'd be cool. Now, as for Aleister Black, what would Aleister do if he loses? That would really damage his character, right? All this talk, he wants to fight somebody and he loses. What does he do? So here's my idea for Aleister. Aleister loses to Bray Wyatt, counters the Black Mask, gets caught, Sister Abigail, done. He's out of it. Everybody's like, whoa, Aleister just lost. So they cut to him doing a promo very similar to Bray. It said, but he doesn't have any puppets. He's in a dark room, and for about, I guess, 10 seconds, he just sits there and doesn't say anything, right? And then just cuts away. And we don't see Aleister maybe a couple of weeks, and then we see him again, and a promo again. He's not saying anything. But this time he gets up, and instead of waiting for someone to challenge him, he goes challenge someone else. He's been humbled, right? So he challenges somebody, could literally be anybody, to be honest. He goes after, I don't know, McIntyre. He goes after someone, right? To try to bounce back after losing, and he comes out victorious. After he wins, he wants Bray, but he can never get in contact with him, because like that was the guy who humbled him, and he feels like he has this devil on his back, just always knowing that, hey, Bray beat you, you know, and that's all. And you talk all that crap or whatever about how you were gonna beat up whoever you fought or whatever. You waiting for a challenge, you got one and you couldn't take the smoke, right? So he's trying to atone for that. He's trying to finally get his win back, and eventually he does get to face Bray, and then he beats him one-on-one. And I just think that'd be cool, because by that point it'll be okay for Bray to lose, assuming that he's been winning consistently, and then for the other side it'll be okay for Bray to defeat Aleister, because Aleister had been winning consistently before he finally lost. I just think that would be cool if they did that, just between those two characters. What they do after that feud's over, I don't know, but I'm just talking about just between those two. So what I think could happen, because I see a lot of people talking about this. Like I saw it on Cultaholic a couple times now, and then I see memes about what they think might happen on Instagram, like random people just talking about it. And I was like, well, maybe they could do something with it if one of them loses. Doesn't necessarily, losing isn't always bad in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, what's a good example? When Roman was losing to Brock, it just kept building it over. I know it was kind of repetitive, seeing him face Brock over and over and just never being able to beat him. But when he finally beat him, there was a pop. There was. No matter what anyone says, the fans were actually cheering. They weren't booing Roman Reigns out of the building. They were actually cheering when that happened. So I don't know. I think it actually could work. Another one is when Shawn Michaels lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Granted, the streak is a lot more prestigious than a random feud, between Bray and Aleister, but you get the point. But, yeah, I guess that's just my idea. Oh, and when Cena lost to The Rock at WrestleMania. Another example. At WrestleMania 28, I think. Yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's it for this random video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all next time.